Alright, Brown family, I want to show you what's going on with Jade. Show you sort of part 3 of our force fetch video. Little series we're making on Jade the rock star here. I'm going to try to work a little bit quicker. I've been kind of long-winded the last couple. Try to cut to the chase. Start off giving Jade a couple of fun tosses. No steadiness, no nothing, just go have fun. Good girl, here, heel, sit. Yeah, good dog. Bottom line is today we're going to put the force in force fetch. And this is the part where we are going to apply pressure directly to the dog and get her to respond. Now, I want to be very clear, this is the absolute first time she's had any direct pressure in association with fetching. So this will be a true, I don't know what's going to happen on camera experience. Should be interesting. But I wanted you to see the first thing. Now, I want to clarify before we get started that Jade Sit has surged ahead, drastically ahead. Selfishly, I would like to attribute this all to her phenomenal genetics that we provided. The reality is it probably has far more to do with how well you prepared her with the hold conditioning and the retriever work that you did. It was great. Now, what we're going to do today is, how did I know it was time to move on? It's time to move on because Jade is already anticipating and grabbing the object. That never happens. Okay, like that very rarely happens. Does a dog grab before we start applying pressure? Say that again, it's important. Almost always we have to apply pressure before they're going to reach out and snatch it. Okay, so usually they're not doing that yet. Since she's doing that, we've got to move her forward because she's already doing the mechanism. Okay, so what we're going to do, sit, is same thing. The first rep, I'm not going to apply any pressure. I'm going to put my hand exactly where I've put it before on her collar, my left hand on her collar. No, sit. But she knows that she needs to get this in her mouth. So I'm just going to bring it up to her. Fetch. Now I'm actually saying the word. Ugh. Now I'm not doing anything to support her. She could drop it at any time. In fact, if I stand here and, goof around long enough, eventually she does this and she'll start screwing around with it. We don't want that, right? So we need to figure out how to fix that. Sit, give, good dog. The way we do that is with ear pinch pressure. That's the way I do it. So what I'm doing is I am taking my left hand and using my pointer finger and my thumb, right? So I'm going to have hold of her collar with these fingers. I'm going to pinch her ear with my finger and thumb. I'm not using anything else to apply pressure, only my finger and thumb. I find that I always start off with as little pressure as possible. You sit. You are wound up today. I start off with as little pressure as possible. I go low pressure and then raise it up until the dog responds. Most dogs, most of the time, will respond to low, steady pressure, and it goes a lot smoother. Sometimes, some dogs, you've got to really ratchet up the pressure before they respond. It just depends on who the dog is. I'm betting dollars to pesos that Jade is going to respond at very low pressure. In fact, it would not surprise me if she vocalizes, because other dogs in her breeding vocalize at relatively mild amounts of pressure. If the dog vocalizes, that's fine, all right? What we want to do is, as soon as she opens her mouth and gets a hold of the stick, as soon as the stick is in her mouth, we let go of her ear. That's the key. Pinch, and I'm going to say the word fetch, and then as soon as she grabs, we let go. That's the mechanism. So I'm going to grab hold of her collar, sit, all right? I'm going to pinch, fetch, and she immediately snatched. Good. Give. I'm going to do this several times, even though it's perfect. Fetch. Excuse me. Yeah. Goodness. Good fetch. Good. I'm gonna touch the stick. I'm gonna come under her jaw. I'm gonna do all these things before I say give. Take it away from her. All right, let's do another one. Fetch. Yeah. Good. She's vocalizing here. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Nope. Fetch. Good. Very good. So there she gave me some resistance. Good. And she didn't know what to do. Give. But when she grabbed, the pressure goes off. So she just learned right there, she can turn off the pressure by getting the stick in her mouth. Let's try that some more. Good. Good girl. Give. She gave me a little tail wag there, lets me know. Got it. Fetch. Good girl. Give. Pinch. Fetch. Let's walk with it. Sit. Give. Good dog. Good. Sit. Come on. Fetch. Heel. Jade, here. Heel. Sit. Give. Good dog. Fetch. Good. Heel. Sit. Give. Good dog. All right. So Jade did extremely well there. Okay. She vocalized a little, which is what I expected. She's very sensitive. Heel. Sit. Which is probably why the other trainer thought she was garbage. She's just sensitive to pressure. I find that being sensitive to pressure makes it much easier on me because I don't have to apply nearly as much pressure to get her to respond. Okay. So that's all we do. I put the stick in front of her mouth, I say fetch, and I pinch her ear. Then as soon as she grabs it, we let it go. Now, what do you do if the dog doesn't grab? If the dog doesn't grab, what you do is you pinch, and then you physically stick it in your mouth the way you've been doing before, right? So if you have to like cram it in the dog's mouth the first few times, that's fine, right? But the main objective is we put the stick in front of them to give them the option. We say fetch, and we pinch the ear, and as soon as they get it, pressure comes off. That's how we start with the force and force fetch. Again, it never goes this easy, all right? Like, this is like the easiest dog ever, so she's amazing. Go get you another fun one, dude. I love Jade. She can just stay. That girl. Good girl, Jade. Here, heel, sit. Yeah, good dog. All right, so the next thing we'll work on is I'll show you how, and the next thing we're gonna start making her go further and further distances. We'll want the object on the ground, object above, object in different places to get her to go and fetch. And then we'll quickly, probably with Jade, we'll very quickly move away from ear pinch. I'll do ear pinch for at least a week or so, and then we'll transition to using the e-collar as the pressure instead of the ear pinch. But bottom line, as always, Jade is amazing.